Hello and welcome to the Next in Line podcast, where we are helping to prepare you for whatever is next in line. As always, I am your host, Chance Pitts, and I'd like to thank you for tuning into this episode. Guys and gals, welcome into another thoughtful Thursday here on the Next in Line podcast. If you're new, welcome aboard. I know we got some new people popping in here. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to throw some motivation and some inspiration your way on this Thursday. But we do have a little bit of housekeeping I would like to share with you. If you receive value from this episode or any other episode of the Next in Line podcast, I would ask that you share the show with like-minded individuals who might be able to receive the same kind of value. That's the number one way for us to grow and to reach a larger audience. And whenever we reach more people, we help more people, which that's the overall goal, guys. Additionally, another way you can help us grow is by liking, commenting, subscribing, on whatever platform you find yourself listening on. If there's an option for a rating or review, go ahead and leave us one of those as well. Be honest, you're not going to hurt our feelings. Great with creative criticism, and we just want to move in the right direction and help people in the best way possible. So, guys, that's the best thing you can do to help us grow this movement. You can also check us out on social media. That's at Next in Line Development on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We share a lot of good content there. We'd love to interact with you there as well. So don't be a stranger, guys. But like I said, here for another thoughtful Thursday, guys. And this topic is one that I kind of had a run-in with this week. It came across my mind while I was up working in Dallas. And it kind of stems from a running joke that is going on in a lot of the different groups I find myself in, whether it's with family members or whether it's with my friends, my coworkers, or even my wife. There's kind of a joke that whenever we go out to eat or we go hang out and there's cake or there's alcohol or there's anything that people would deem as fun, typically, people make the joke whenever it's offered to me that no, Chance isn't allowed to have anything that is fun, anything that tastes good. And it's just kind of this little joke or jab at me being over the top and me not being allowed to enjoy certain things in life. And that kind of got me thinking earlier this week while I was having lunch with some coworkers, just that kind of mindset and that joke that they made. It really made me stop in my tracks a little bit. But it was really driven home whenever I was able to visit Irwin Park to do some trail running up in McKinney, Texas, whenever I was up in North Texas for work just yesterday, actually. And that was that I've really bought into this no pain, no gain mentality here lately. Everything I do is some sort of painful. Everything I do is some sort of tough situation I put myself in that isn't exactly fun. I have to do things that I don't enjoy in order to make progress. And I don't think that's how it should be. And I don't want y'all to get the impression that that's how you have to live your life if you want to make progress as well. So what I am going to do to start this out, I'm not going to do some kind of crazy analogy. I'm not going to do anything wild like that, put out scenarios or anything like we did earlier this week on Monday. But what I do want to tell you is a little story. Whenever I got to the park in McKinney, I was a little bit nervous. I hadn't been able to run out there before. The times I'd tried to go run in Irwin Park, it had actually rained the time before. And because it's a dirt trail, they actually shut down the park anytime it rains and they don't let people go in and run. So that being the case, I was a little bit nervous just because it is a mountain bike trail as well. Hikers go clockwise and bikes go counterclockwise. That way the bikes don't run over hikers or runners in my case. So it's a little bit of a different format. It's a little bit more crowded than I'm used to, but I've heard great things about it and I was really looking forward to giving it a shot. So I went over to the board. I was looking at the map, kind of planning out my run, knowing where I would stand, where I was at certain points in the run. And then a gentleman came up to me and he was like, "Hey, is it your first time at the park?" I said, "Yeah, it is. Really looking forward to running it. It's about 8.2 miles, right?" And he said, "Well, actually, it's a lot closer to 10. And it ended up being 9.1. But regardless of that, he gave me a little bit of insight. He gave me some advice on some technical areas, some places to be a little bit leery of, some things to keep my eyes out for, and just kind of the general rules and etiquette of this mountain bike trail that people are allowed to run on as well. So I was really thankful for that. And with that, I took off down the trail and went to the left, and I immediately found myself thoroughly enjoying my run. And I know that might be something where you're like, Chance, you like running. That doesn't come as a shock to us. But guys, during this training schedule, I really haven't enjoyed many of the runs that I've done. They felt forced. They felt like it was something I had to go out and do in order to accomplish the mission I'm trying to do with this 100-mile race. And it hasn't been a leisurely or pleasure kind of run. And that's something that really disappointed me in a lot of ways whenever I went through this training cycle, up until I guess it's 5 weeks from the race right now. And I've struggled with that this entire process. I've struggled with the motivation to get out and run besides some of these long runs that test you and push you, because they have that excitement around them. But the thing was, whenever I got out there on this trail, I hit some technical portions really, really quickly, and it was a true trail run. This was juking and jiving, ducking under branches, going down steep, descending hills and running up the other side and ascending very, very rapidly, cutting back and forth, hitting some banks where the different mountain bike trails came around, so you're able to really gain some speed and take off, even running. It was just overall extremely enjoyable, and I got back to the point of realizing this is why I fell in love with running here over the past 2 years. The trail running aspect, the adventure, not knowing where I was going to end up, not knowing when the trail ends, and being somewhere that was just truly beautiful. It was the woods. It was this awesome creek that ran all through there. It was a dirt trail, and it was just nice area, well-maintained park, and I'd never been there before. It was a sense of adventure, and it made me step away from that no pain, no gain mentality for a little while and realize that I can still enjoy running. This can still be a fun hobby for me. This can still be something that is pleasurable in a lot of different ways rather than just beating my head against a rock or beating the dead horse, whatever you want to call it, that made it almost like work. Because whenever you take the fun and pleasure aspect out of anything that you truly enjoy, it just becomes work. And that's something I really wanted to make sure that I put out there on this Thoughtful Thursday, is that, guys, it doesn't always have to be this all or nothing, only pain to get the gains mentality. That is so far from the truth. Many of us actually forget why we start the things that we start, why we push in competition in the things that we push in competition in. We do that because we thoroughly enjoy them. Whether you're a competition shooter that is really taking it serious and getting on a circuit and going out and shooting every single weekend, you've probably gotten to the point where it becomes work and it becomes something that you have to do in order to succeed, rather than doing it because it's just something you thoroughly enjoy. And there's ways to get around that, guys. You can do these things, whether it's shooting, whether it's running, whether it's walking, mountain biking, whatever it is, whatever physical activity you find yourself doing, or it doesn't even have to be a physical activity. It can be playing music. It can be doing art. Whatever it is that is your passion, you got to let yourself enjoy it. Find a way for it to be pleasurable, guys. Do it with people you like being around. Do it for the reasons you started doing it. Don't just dive into this situation to where you feel like you have to do them in order to improve because you want to be the best. There's a time and a place for things to suck. If you actively try to become better at something, you're going to get to a point where you're grinding and things are hard. You go through that pain phase. Things suck. It's going to happen. It's absolutely going to happen. But you don't have to make it that way every single time. And that's something I had to stop and realize, and I wanted to share that with y'all today because I think a lot of us really get caught up in this cycle and we forget the things that we love while we're doing them. It's kind of ridiculous in a lot of different ways. But guys, that's really what I wanted to share with y'all. That's what was on my heart. Don't forget that we're here to enjoy life. We're here to become better human beings, to interact with others, to develop ourselves so that we can give forth the best version of ourselves possible. And that's why we're truly here, guys. But Thank y'all so much for tuning into this episode of the podcast. Thank y'all so much for giving me an opportunity to motivate y'all and move y'all in the right direction. And guys, if there's anything I can ever do, I've had a few people reach out for workout plans. I've had a few people reach out for advice on dieting, advice on prepping for races, just whatever it is that's next in line for you. If I can assist with that process in any way at all, please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out. Also, been talking with Michael Ruiz, Average Mike Training. Super excited. He's getting some videos edited up for us from that competition we did this past weekend. It's going to be really, really cool. I know y'all are going to thoroughly enjoy it just because it was a blast to make. So be looking out for that. Again, guys, we have some awesome interviews lined up we're going to be releasing over the next couple of weeks. We got some big things coming, and I couldn't be more excited. Plus, we're about a month out from the race. Guys, we got a lot of cool things going on, but make sure you're taking this lesson and make sure you're taking these things and applying them to your life, guys. If it's helping, please let me know. Reach out to me on social media. Reach out to me on YouTube. Whatever you find yourself listening on, just let us know how we're doing. Let us know what we can do to help you in the future. And guys, have a wonderful Thursday and a wonderful weekend, and always be prepared for whatever is next in line.